Hello, Johann.
Hey,
Welcome back.
thank you.
Nice to have you here again. Really looking forward to this.
Yep.
I have a few questions reflecting back to our last podcast.
Yep.
But first now it's just days away from your child's birth, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
How many days left officially?
It's on Saturday, so about like 4 days.
4 days? Can happen anytime
Can
now.
happen anytime. Yep, exactly.
You're waiting for the call.
Waiting for the call. Yeah, exactly.
How's your wife doing?
She's doing good. It's of course a challenge, but she's doing good.
Good to hear. All right. Before we get going, I know that you explained that brewing this Indian coffee that we talked last time takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So I thought you get started with that first. You could show how it's built up and explain a little bit around it before you brew everything, so people sees how it looks. The separated parts.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So this is a typical brewer that you normally have in South India. And this is how it looks. And this is more maybe a fancier version of the ones you normally use at home. The ones at home are usually stainless steel or something like that. It comes in some parts. You have the base here, the chamber. You can say that's where the coffee concentrate will collect. You can say it's like a decoction. A bit of a syrupy sort of liquid is what you get out of the system. This is the lid, nothing fancy here. Keeps the heat inside maybe. That's the functionality. And here is the real filtration chamber, you can say, right? So you have, it looks like this, a little bit of a curved base, and you have small holes made into that.
I would say quite big holes, but it's magic. It doesn't. Coffee doesn't come through apparently.
Exactly.
You can see.
Exactly. And you also have this sort of like a plunger. You can think of it like a tamp you use for your espresso maybe. But you just level the bed and push it down a bit sometimes. And you can use this. You don't need to use it as well. Mm-hmm. So traditionally, I have not used it way too much, but how I've seen it being used, and I've used it a couple of times as well, is when you wake up or something like that, the first thing you do is you add the coffee. And to touch upon a bit about the coffee as well, we have a represented coffee here. It's not the official one from South India, which you get in packets, the coffee is usually a mixture, a blend, you can say, of some bits of Arabica, a lot of Robusta, and some chicory as well. So chicory, for those who don't know, it started out as an adulterant. It's a root, another plant species itself. But when roasted, it has a similar taste to some coffee species. But it also adds a lot of body into your final cup as well. And what started out as adulterant to a food product ended up as something which is integral to the coffee due to people liking that taste and that syrupy mouthfeel when you drink it with other like milk and things like that. So unfortunately, I don't have that today, that particular type of coffee. And to be really honest, this is more like a nostalgic type of coffee that I drink. I would, of course, prefer other types, but this is more like once in a while when you want to, think about home and how you started off. I really like it like that. But you take this blend.
So today is just a plain Arabica. Because we don't have the other coffee.
Exactly.
We'll try to do something similar.
Exactly. So we will start off with 30 grams of this coffee. You add it in. And usually it's not really measured with grams and things like that. You add sort of spoons. You take teaspoons, how many teaspoons or tablespoons you use. But today we are in a specialty coffee place. We do it with grams. I've added 30 grams of coffee, and we have some water. Exactly.
Yeah, there for you. Here you go.
Perfect. Thank you. Normally, again, you don't use a gooseneck kettle or anything like that, but
we are where we are.
Yeah, exactly. We start to add about 60 grams of coffee, or normally just a little bit of coffee, you can say.
Bloom it.
Bloom it.
So even bloom it, yeah.
No,
No.
you just normally add it, but I have adapted the recipe to make it a little better. I think, especially if you're using more nicer coffee. So yeah, and I totally fill up about 180 grams. A lot of carbon dioxide, it looks like. Here the percolation. But great, about 180 grams. And you can mix it as well. So I will just give it a very quick mix. Perfect spoon. Okay, we'll keep it here for now.
Okay,
and then just add this plunger to it. It will head down and close it. It's a bit of fire and forget, so you...
So now we're set. Now we're just waiting for it to be finished,
Exactly, exactly.
Perfect.
Yes. And you normally would do this when you wake up. And usually, sometimes people prepare like South Indian breakfast is another thing. I think maybe a South Indian breakfast and hotel breakfast to me are like the top breakfasts of the world. It's a very elaborate meal. You should definitely show a picture of this later. But so people would maybe take time to make this breakfast. And when you make it, you have the coffee ready to go. So nice. After this, what we should expect is a syrupy concentrate. In India, we call it a decoction. It's very syrupy, high extraction of the coffee. It's usually slow and takes time, so it's quite highly extracted. And you add that to hot milk. You boil milk. Usually in India, when you buy it from a store, you boil the milk, and when you boil it, you add this coffee concentrate at the last part. So you let it boil it together, and when you're boiling it, you can also agitate the milk with the coffee as well, causing in some way this foam on top. It's to, I think there's a lot of proteins in the milk and so forth, which interacts well with the air, and you get this nice little foam on top, which is integral to your drinking experience. Not so much, but it's part of you can say the Indian latte art, if you will, but for more the South Indian coffee. So yeah, that's a bit about the experience. Yeah.
Nice. I think if I'm not wrong, like historically there was like when milk and coffee, it was called. I read a text like said, if you do milk and coffee, it should be like boiling milk, and then you add coffee, and not coffee and milk. That's a different thing.
Yes,
yes. It was called milk coffee.
Yes.
That reminded me of this story, but anyhow, it's a different thing. All right, then we'll wait for this. I'm looking forward to try it, even if it's not exactly the same coffee, but it'll be an interesting concept.
Yep.
I have a few other questions about the farming as well, and I'm wondering how do you go about when you're putting the new seeds, like when you into the earth? Do you first place them directly into different spots, or do you first do it in a separate area? I saw, I think on the picture I posted, it was like they were putting them down in the earth, like on rows.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I think there's different ways to do this, and I think the people across the world do this in different ways. We have a little bit of a place, a little bit outside the farm, not too far away, about like maybe 10 minutes away or something like that. Walking or I think 10 minutes by car actually, or something. It's a very hilly area as well, and the roads are really bad. But so this place is sort of like our nursery. It's not a very established, not very big yet, but it's where we try to create the saplings. So moving from seed to germination and sprouting as well. So the seeds which we got, we put them directly into the soil there. It's very good soil. It's quite nutrient, and I think I've seen this being done in a couple of ways. I've also seen sometimes people take the seed, put ash, this soot, carbon basically in its form. They rub it around the seed and put it in the ground, maybe to give it a little bit extra, like a nutrient kick when you're starting out. But honestly, I'm not sure exactly is it really positive, or is it just like some placebo effect? I'm not entirely sure. But we put it there. What we did is put banana leaves over the whole after you put the seeds into the ground. This is to regulate the temperature, to hold moisture, give it a very good environment to germinate, basically. And these seeds, particularly as well, were they traveled all the way from Colombia, so they were not super dry, but still dry, so you had to uh, you need to be extra careful in the germination step. It was not like you just took a coffee from the tree, like the seed, and you planted it. More higher chance for germination there, but here it traveled all the way from Colombia to India, so it was much more dry and needed more care in the germination. And I remember my father, he actually gave like a challenge to the people growing there, that if you manage to make all of this germinate, people give them like a little bonus, to ensure they take care of this, because it's a big gamble we're doing with the seeds, and it took a lot of effort to bring them there. So to actually make them germinate and ensure it's done in the right way, and to keeping them separately as well is another big thing. Yeah.
Nice. And also we talked a little bit about you having the plants in different places in order to not have cross contamination, so they don't cross pollinate. Can you explain a little bit more about how do you go about to sort of isolate varieties in this way? Because it's a lot of places that do this, but nobody was like, how do you actually do it? Because it's hard.
To be really honest, we are experimenting with this, right? This is something which we will see how to do this properly, because we know the issues where we're coming from, of growing them in a collective manner, if you will, without any clear thought. So to start with, even before the pollination, we are starting from the seed level where they are germinating. We are trying to keep them as separate as possible. So we got these signs made. Maybe we'll see the photos of that as well, like almost like metal signs to ensure that this is this particular varietal and the other. So we try to have that separation as much as possible, but also to really communicate from the start, this is how important it is to separate them. We have not yet planted them yet they are still I can firstly say that all Gesha, Bourbon, and the Pacamara, which we got, all have germinated, all have sprouted. We can see the things coming out, they're about a couple of centimeters tall, so not yet fully grown, so still require a lot of care, a lot of attention. But the interesting thing also was the Pacamara was the last to come out. For some reason, I don't know why, but the Gesha and Bourbon, they came out quite quick, and the Pacamara, we actually thought they wouldn't germinate, so we were a bit concerned and all of that. But then just a few came, and now a bit more came, but not still as much as the Gesha and Bourbon. It seems all have germinated. Pacamara, maybe it's not perfectly suited to the climate there. Not sure, maybe the rainfall patterns or the watering patterns are not perfectly adapted to it. And I've not heard of Indian Pacamara, so maybe this is this is I would imagine this is maybe one of the first times Pacamara is being grown in the Indian subcontinent.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I've heard, I told you, Gesha before, even bourbon, I have not particularly heard it. So bourbon and Pacamara, it would be interesting to see how it actually comes and if it's going to come as well.
Nice.
But once they grow, our plan now is they're still, as I mentioned, a couple of centimeters. So I will actually go to India in February. My sister will get married actually, so I will try to be there for that wedding. But my other secret goal, I hope my sister doesn't see this, but is to also visit the farm and start planning how are we going to do the isolation, the block system. So try to chart out in the 7-8 hectares we have how we will do this, which areas are maybe better suited for one particular coffee, which are for another coffee. So try to think about it, and especially the Gesha, which I'm super curious to see how it's going to taste with the Indian soil, with the Indian nutrients, Indian environment. I hope to try it in a few different areas. We have some areas which are under a lot more tree cover, like having a lot more tall trees which give it a lot of shade. We have some which are more exposed as well. So, and some which is near a stream. So I think we have some different microclimates, microenvironments to experiment with. But the real trick would of course be ensuring they're separate. And I'm honestly I'm quite curious to see how are we going to do that effectively, because this has to be not just from the start, but the next 10 years they need to be separate, right? They need to be handled separately and not picked together. So it's something interesting that we need to see how we're going to do it effectively.
Interesting. I like that you try to put them in different places, the same variety, just to see how it would taste, like what effect that may have or not.
Exactly.
I talked to somebody a while ago about this case, and who said like it will be the person has good hopes that the geisha would do well in India.
Okay.
So I hope so.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to know. You mentioned as well that some plants will fruit more this harvest than before, out of the ones that you have. Which ones are these, and how old are they?
So there were a couple of plants we planted a couple of years ago. Maybe I think it's about 4 years ago, something like that. So those will plant, and we got some from a neighboring farm. Those will also plant. So I think a couple of these will fruit for the first time this year. But to also highlight on the fruiting season, which is ongoing now, right? It's the harvest now, right now. So every day I have communication from the farm, and I'm trying to do it remotely as well. But the not so good parts is the yield this year is not as high as it was last year. So I'm still trying to get the idea of the numbers and how it's going. And it's firstly, they started fruiting or arriving at a really high level of ripeness much earlier in this year than last year. So last year it was about 20th of November onwards where we started to see the first fruit being ready to pluck. But now at the start of November, it was already ready to pluck. So it's very hard to say exactly why that's happened. I don't have enough experience to give a clear answer there. But to be honest, I was a little bit caught off guard by that. Maybe also being here in Sweden and not having that accurate view of what's happening in the ground. So I had some plans for the processing and how we're going to do batch by batch, but I had to be much more hastily doing it in the start, because I got information that it was ready now, some plants, and some started to fall off as well. So after I heard that, we immediately took one batch and we've done it. And now I think we're 4th batch or something like that. It's still a couple. I think the harvest will continue for maybe a month, something like that, all the way up to the late. They have some fruits which stay a bit later, which ripen a bit later as well. But yeah, so it was definitely shifted, and the numbers, at least so far, what we've got is unfortunately not as high as last year. And there are numerous reasons to that, and the reasons I also heard is we need to, one part of the farm, we need to do the soil in a better way. We need to take a lot of care during the year, which honestly we didn't put a lot of effort into that. So that could be a reason, but also coffee plants and farming, it's not like a computer system or something, right? It's not. It's so many factors which determine the crop, and pests. The Arabica on the whole is not a very, compared to Robusta, for example, it's not a super high yield. So it made me realize how delicate all of this is, and it's super hard also to be in Sweden and getting all of this information like asynchronously. It's not. Even the internet connectivity is not super great here. So when you're showing a video from the farm, it's not. It's a bit laggy, and you can't get that full senses. All your senses can't absorb the information.
That must be complicated
it's,
to be there but not there.
Yeah.
And then also, I mean, even so, I can imagine already being complicated enough if you had like good connection and all this. Now it's like adding the bad connection to all this. It makes it another dimension.
But I'm still hopeful. I've experimented with a few different processes this year. Of course, some the same, more anaerobic fermentation is my basic, you can say. But I've added a few interesting things to see what can happen with it. So I'm excited to see how a few lots will turn out, if you can say that. Yeah.
More to be told later, huh?
Yeah.
So right now, actually, the harvest season started like a month ago.
Yeah, exactly.
And probably continue for another month.
Yeah.
And then when they pick the cherries now, they need to process them.
Yep.
How, like, from the time that you pick the cherries, how fast do you need to process them to start drying? Like, what time frame do you have? Because it's 2 months of harvesting.
Yeah.
But between every time that you go and pick the cherries and you get the lots, like how does it work?
Exactly. So we are still considerably small scale. So we are not having to have the opportunity to pick every day, for example. So we pick on certain days when we think a good amount is ripe. And with the staff we have, that's the capacity we can do. I'm sure other bigger farms, they pick every day, and you have enough to pick every day, for example. So we pick when it's possible and when we think it's the right time. So it happens like maybe once in 4 or 5 days, something like that. So and sometimes it could be two times. So it's not like a very strict schedule. It depends. I let the people take care of that. I've given very clear information, and that it needs to be picked as ripe as possible. So deep red. We're not gone into the bricks measurement or the sugar content measurement picking yet. But the best I think we can do for now with the staff we have and the capabilities we have is more pick them ripe. But it's still a huge improvement I've seen, for example, a couple of kilometers away, there's another coffee farm. They are not doing specialty coffee, so more commodity coffee and things like that. But when they pick coffee, I've seen it. It's like a rainbow of colors that you pick. It's like because for them it's, and I totally understand, it's a different type of business model, different type of economics going there. So they just pick and sell on volume. How much they collect, and they process it, you do a lot of washed coffee. And so they, for some reason, they do not pick. I mean, maybe it's a clear reason. It's a lot of effort to pick only ripe.
Yeah.
You have to go up and down and up and down. You have to put a lot more effort. But it makes me think, I feel we get a little bit more higher quality just by only picking ripe. and we are much smaller scale. That's why we're able to do that. And we are not so much economics based. You can say that as well. So we pick the coffee. We try to do the processing as soon as possible, because my thoughts are that they start fermenting. They immediately, right? You have sugar, you have the right temperature, you have the bacteria and yeast there. So the moment you pluck the cherry, fermentation begins. And ideally, you want to be ensure that you are controlling the fermentation and not to have too much of wild fermentation going on. And maybe that's cool as well, but I prefer to have a bit more consistent from what was last year and what's happening this year. So we pick the coffee, immediately give it a wash, and we made one big change this year. And this is again due to some circumstances, but we actually have put effort and time into a drier room. So a room where you are drying the coffee instead of outdoor drying, right? So this is and this is not due to we didn't want to do it this year, but due to some lot of different factors at the farm and this other place where we normally dry it, like my parents are trying like a little bit more like an Airbnb setup there, and they will be a bit, the guests they get, I guess, will be a little bit weird seeing a coffee drying. Maybe they would like it, but it's harder to control. And so we have now a drying room on the farm. So one shed, maybe a little bit bigger than this room, is now, maybe it's like double the size of this room, is now our drying room. It's and this was really interesting. I had to be really fast on thinking to adapt to this, and we tried to seal off this room, and the concept we're trying to do is something like dark room drying. It's a new concept. It's not maybe a lot of really exclusive farms are doing this, but with our scale we can do it rather cheaply. So what we have done, we've done a couple of different batches, but we start with maybe the first day a little bit of sun drying to remove some of the moisture, and then move it to a dark room where we have now installed a couple of fans and also invested in a dehumidifier machine. It's this big machine where you can set different modes. And it was such a hassle to explain this machine to the staff there, to get them to push the right. It's like 8 buttons there, and it's like hard to configure. It's still daily challenge. So every day he has to take a photo of that machine to tell me it's running correctly and the water is being removed from the room. And we also have a humidity measurement in the room to keep it as dry as possible. So and we have a lot of fans to spread around the humid. I mean, the dehumidifier is we're creating a little bit of an air current as well. And most of the time, this room is in the darkness, so it will also prevent a lot of bad mold and bad things like that. So it's a risky bet, something we had to do rather quick. But I've read a lot about this, and I feel we can do something interesting with this. And it works because of our scale right now. We can do it with one room, and but it is possible to add more rows. So maybe next year, if we're getting more as well, we can add a couple of rows into this room as well.
Nice.
So this was a new thing. It's always, when you're doing anything in life, right? It's maybe not good to add too many variables, especially when I'm now here. And but this is the new variable we added compared to sun drying.
But in one way, also, it's a variable that might do it more consistent.
Yes.
So it's a variable, but it makes it maybe easier to do remotely.
Yes. But the challenge has been, of course, the humidity. And I still think it's the machine which needs to be configured properly. But and because also another aspect is the power available in this area is not super great. So sometimes the power can go, especially during heavy rains. So it'll go for 2-3 days. So it's important then to ensure we have the right humidity. And so that's why we took an early decision to have the first day of when the bean is quite wet to do a sun dry. So, and later on move to the shed and do that. So I'm super interested. I feel so sad I'm not able to smell this room from here. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
I can imagine like later on you probably will need like a backup battery or something to make sure that it's running all the time.
Exactly.
So this not so professional farm seems to be quite professional.
Yeah. It's some experiments, some
It's all about experiments. I mean, when you get to the top.
Yeah.
Nice. So they picking the cherries. They going straight on to the processing of it and the whatever fermentation, drying, and all these things, and then when and what is next phase? Like now that when it's dried to the level that you want, then it's about peeling them. Or are you gonna access to machinery? Or how?
Exactly. So my hope now is to just dry them and.
The coffee.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
We do it just before we finish. So
perfect.
So there's no waiting time.
No stress. Cool.
No stress. So, so my goal is to just keep drying them until they reach. We have a small little measurement meter as well for this, but we are operating in a relatively small scale, so we can just bag up the coffee and keep it there. I have read a lot about resting coffee, but this is not the coffee resting after roasting, right? But this is aging coffee, maybe another word. It's many words thrown around. I can't find clear answers on this. Many people say it's good to age coffee before you hull it. So before you remove the parchment and the skin, if you're doing natural coffee, just let it be there. It's already dried, so nothing is going to happen to the coffee in a negative way. But you age it. There are multiple reasons I've read upon it. Maybe the cell structure of the coffee is more ready. It makes it better for transport and it keeps the flavors better. But it's an area I too I've tried to read up a lot and talk to a few people about it, but a lot of people have differing opinions as well. Some people immediately when they finish drying, they send it for hulling and send it off. Maybe also from an economic perspective, you finish the thing, you want to get paid, right? So maybe it makes sense. But what I have thought to do, because my main next goal is brewers next year. So I want to have this coffee ready for brewers because that's my time, because I still have coffee from the previous season for my consumption and my abilities roasting right now. So the next target for something is the brewers. I've not seen when that's happening yet. So the moment they announce it, I will start to bring some of the coffee because
there's action.
Yeah, exactly. Because one lot I'm super curious to see. I've sort of crafted it for brewers. So let's see what happens. And I still hope they don't change the I've read through the World Coffee Association's the rules and regulations and everything. It is a co-ferment, but it's and that's legal in the brewing.
I think it's opening more and more.
Exactly.
Closing.
But it's not for a fruit side. I mean, it's a floral side. So I'm super curious. I don't know if we should talk about this now, but it's a coffee I'm very excited about, and I'm curious to see how it's going to do on that area as well.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I like floral coffees.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So this aging thing. Because I have read that they like after drying, sometimes it's waiting a while until it's sent off for hulling. So maybe that makes sense. I thought it was a logistics things, but maybe it's also a aging concept. So interesting to know more about that later.
Exactly.
You talked as well a little bit about how it's been working remotely to do all these things. You have your issues with it. I mean, the communication, both technical wise and the understanding of concept. Anything else that you would like to add into it?
it's a lot on timeline. I mean, time zone as well, right? When you wake up here in Sweden, it's almost half the day is over in India. So it's and a lot of the work on the farm happens in the morning in India. So you sort of get to see what has happened more than influencing the day's decisions. It's a bit. It is tremendously challenging, I think, to do this remotely. I really hope the coffee will be as the quality which was last year when I was there, because a lot of it is communicated through photos, through pictures of notebooks, and it's a lot on those aspects, and it's something I need to really see how to do this long term as well, because to be really honest, I don't think you can make massive improvements in year by year by doing this remotely. You need to at least have some presence there and to communicate and to set more clear processes. And our solution to this, what we were thinking about is because the current caretaker of the farm, he is also looking into avocados and to plums, and it's a lot on his plate. So we were thinking to maybe next year, especially when we need to plant and scale out the farm, to have more a coffee dedicated resource. So who is also looking through the year only in the coffee plants. So to focus on how they are cared for, the soil, every now and then you have to dig the soil around it up to let it breathe and all of this. So we were thinking to have a more focused coffee person next year, to who I can talk to. Maybe you can speak more to me directly, and we get that sort of sorted out. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on then.
Yeah. Next year is the scale out. So
yeah, really looking forward to it.
For that. Yeah.
So when do you expect to have your first batch from the current harvest here in Sweden?
Yeah, I was thinking sometime like February, January,
cool.
February, something like that.
Soon.
Yeah, rather soon. I think the first batch is already finished drying, so I could theoretically have it rather soon. But I thought to let it age for about a month and maybe then send it for this hulling. And my hope is to again I tried to look into machines as well at the start of this, and I thought it would be one more variable will be hard to do, because even when you have the machine and you're doing hulling yourself, it's a lot you got to be careful about. You got to calibrate the machine, and to do this remotely, I cannot imagine this happening. So my thought is we get this hulled with our friend, and we pay a little bit for that, but we get it hulled, and from that perspective.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, we're getting close to time, so let's get to the coffee. I'm looking forward to this.
Exactly. It's going to be interesting.
Do you want me to steam some milk, or?
Yeah, that would be perfect if you can.
Yeah. How much do we need?
Maybe just enough for two. So
two
like
cups?
Maybe 2 cups.
With the coffee, how much coffee is gonna be in?
It's very less. So this should be a concentrate.
So sort of an espresso. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So should I take it off?
Yeah. Perfect.
Just tell me what you need.
So maybe we take this off. Keep it on this for now. Maybe I take this away.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see there's no...
Smells like coffee, surprise.
Yeah, but no, you see there's no particulate matter. There's some...
I think we're missing some ingredient here to make sure that we don't get more.
Exactly. Filter maybe.
Yeah.
But could you just help me add a couple of
Yeah,
sugar?
of course.
Maybe
I'm thinking maybe it's like the hickory or something that helps to put like a layer of sort of filter-ish.
Exactly.
So how many sugars?
Maybe that one more. Maybe.
One more.
Yeah.
So everybody look away. I'm not drinking coffee with sugar. It's
But this is a vital part of the experience.
it's part of the, yeah, exactly. It's part of the concept.
It's about the color here now.
Ah, it's about that color.
Yeah.
It's very Swedish as well. Brygg with milk, and it's lagom. So they look like you add milk until it reaches a certain color, and then the bryggkaffe with milk is ready to drink.
Exactly. But again, now we are adding milk, to coffee. But normally you would add the coffee to the milk.
Yes, right, when you're boiling it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
But,
so we're changing the game. Exactly. I hope your Indians family and friends were not looking into this. They would say that we're ruining the coffee.
Exactly. But that looks good. That's the color I want.
Set. All right,
but cool. I will just have to do the Indian, the pour, And could I get one more?
Yeah, go ahead.
Take this one.
Wait. Take one of these. They're dirty over there.
Perfect. Yeah, maybe a bigger one if possible.
A bigger, of course. Let's see.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
There you go.
Yeah. So this is a vital part. You see this on any sort of street corner or something. It's the pour, and just see the froth there, That is vital. And I do it like one more time, maybe.
Even the bubble, like the froth coming from the pour, is important here.
Exactly.
Nice.
Oop.
That's all right.
But that's good. It's way darker than it should be, but it's fine.
Should have had more milk.
Milk, yep.
Yeah, as you said, you don't do this on a daily basis. Right? No. You're excused.
It's okay.
All right, so here we get the coffee. It's ready to drink?
Yeah, let's see.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
It's not. Okay, it's not the thing. They say we're doing some sort of replica of things. How far away are we?
We're a bit far off. We're a bit far off.
Yeah, what are we missing here?
The coffee, I think.
The coffee.
Yeah.
It's not dark enough?
No. It's not the Robusta and the chicory. I think it adds, because we can taste the Arabica. It's like, it's like sweet and, but there is that element which a Robusta and the chicory does.
Yeah.
So next time, I think I will, before the next one, I'll fix the proper coffee.
I was just at an event on Friday down in the very south, in Trelleborg, very south of Sweden. And then we were setting everything up, so some people asked, "Oh, can we try the coffee?" and so on. So try it. Oh, nice. And then the one guy says, oh, "This is so watery."
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I asked him, "How much from south of Sweden are you?" And we're in the southest part of Sweden. And he's like, "I'm from here." I was like, "Okay, fair enough. You want the dark roasted coffee." So.
Nice.
So I see what you mean. We in order to get it come through and so on. But some just talking about this like south of India, south of Sweden, need the darker punch.
Exactly.
Great. All right. Thank you very much for today. I'm looking forward for the next episode, and then we'll have your child even. We can bring it over.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure again.
Yeah.
See you soon again.
See you. Bye bye.
Thank you.